Next time you're at the thrift store, don't pass up the old and worn out watches, necklaces, brooches, and even earrings. The first thing to do is to deconstruct the watches and whatever else you found so that you can work with the pieces. Then take the black velvet and measure it so that it will fit in the frame. Cut away any excess. Now you will need to play around with the pieces until you come up with something that is pleasing. For my first snowman, I used the biggest watch for the bottom, and then the medium one for the middle, and the smallest one for the head of the snowman. I used hot glue to glue them in place. Next, add a scarf blowing in the wind and some arms. Next, it's time to create a base for the snowman. I used a combination of rhinestones and beads in a varied style of big and small, so there is no true uniform pattern. Did you ever wonder what I would do with the snowflake earrings? Well, I placed them in the sky, and they kind of look like stars, but they could also be some snowflakes falling. Now for the second snowman. This one will not include any watches. I found a very elaborate necklace that I cut into many pieces. The main piece of the necklace will form the body of the snowman. A brooch will become its head. The top hat, of course, will be its magic hat. For the feet, I used blackish beads, and for the arms, I used parts of the straps of the necklace. They are such pretty pieces of art, and I know I will display them every winter and Christmas season.
To start, I want to scuff up the surface with a gritty piece of sandpaper. With that done, I want to give the frame 2 coats of this beautiful mossy green paint. I want to make sure and do the inside as well. Now that the dark green paint is dry, I want to dry brush some lighter green on. This is going to give the feel of texture and depth to the frame. To remove the paint that got on the glass, I can use a straight edge knife and just run it along the edge. To make the art on the mirror, I'm going to use some transfers. There are a lot of companies out there that make these cool stick-on transfers, and I've chosen some for this project that have a wintry feel. It helps to have an idea where everything's going to go before adhering them. I'm going to start by removing the backing. Then I'm going to lay it in place and give it a quick rub with my hand. To make the transfer adhere to the glass, I'm going to use a small plastic card and start rubbing. I can tell the transfer is beginning to stick because it changes colors as it comes away from the clear acetate sheet. With all of the transfers in place, I want to add some depth to my scene and paint on some snow. I've got some white paint and I'm going to thicken it up. You can use baking soda, cornstarch, or any number of things to thicken up paint. To add the snow, I just want to blob the mixture all over the mirror. I don't want to brush it on because I want it to have lots of texture. I absolutely love my new piece of winter art and that I could use an old mirror that I already had. I hope this has inspired you to create some wintry art as well.
Grab a package of dollar store champagne glasses and remove the bottom caps from some of the glasses. Give these caps a couple of quick coats of spray paint in your favorite color. Take some round Christmas ornaments within your chosen color scheme and remove the top caps from the ornaments. Using a stainless steel barbecue skewer, heat the tip of the skewer over a candle flame. Place the heated tip of the skewer to the bottom of a Christmas ornament and poke a hole through the ornament. Cut a piece of a bamboo skewer that is a little longer than the width of a couple of ornaments. Fill the top of one of the champagne glass caps with hot glue. Stick the bamboo stick into the puddle of hot glue. Slide the Christmas ornaments onto the bamboo stick using the holes on both ends of the ornaments. Put some hot glue on top of the highest ornament and place the other champagne glass cap on top. Now, take some larger faux pearls that can be found at the dollar store and glue them into the grooves between the ornaments. Display your new Christmas ornament candle holders with tea lights. I hope this inspired you to make your own Christmas ornament candlesticks.
A simple plastic plate and bowl from the dollar store can be turned into beautiful winter decor in no time at all. I'm painting on a ring of tacky glue around the plate first, and then I want to sprinkle the glue with a mixture of blue and white glitter. I only need to do the top of the plate, but on the bowl I want to do the inside and outside rim. With the glue all dry, I want to attach a plastic fork to the plate and to the bowl. This is going to give the illusion that the bowl is floating above the plate. Now it's time to start adding the ornaments. I want them to look like they're spilling out of the bowl. I'm starting with 3 behind the fork, as these will also add extra support to the fork and the bowl. I've collected all sizes of ornaments in blue, white, and silver to give the piece a really beautiful wintry feel. I also want to add some little bits of snowy greenery as well, just to fill in the spaces. To cover the top of the fork, I can start adding some of the smaller ornaments onto the bowl now. I love decor that I can leave up all winter long, and this floating bowl is so sparkly and pretty, it's going to make winter feel so cozy. I hope this has inspired you to turn dollar store dishes into decor as well.
I'm cutting a small pool noodle to the inside length of a window, then slicing one side open so I can slip in a cedar strip. Now I'm painting the pool noodle in a natural shade of evergreen called Bayberry by Fusion Mineral Paint. Next up, I'm collecting all my blue and white Christmas ornaments, then selecting a few to paint in an icy toned blue craft paint. While the paint is still wet, I'm sprinkling on some faux snow so it sticks, then I'm allowing it to dry overnight. Now I'm cutting a piece of cedar strip to the width of my window that will be mounted with 2 open-ended closet dowel brackets. Now I'm positioning the pool noodle onto the wood strip through the cut slits. Now I'm specking out a country road where there's generally wind-blown branches on the ground. Once getting home, I'm shaking the branches outside to knock off any bugs. I'm cutting the larger evergreen branches into smaller bunches. The stems are being cut on an angle, then the bottom needles are being removed to create a poking stick. Now that I'm halfway done, I'm reversing the direction of the uncut side to the right. Now I'm cutting some neutral tone thread into long lengths. To hang the thread, I'm snipping some green Christmas ornament hangers in half, then bending each end to create my own shorter hooks. Since I cut one side of the pool noodles, I'm further securing the weight of the garland on it by screwing the pool noodles to the board. This will help keep the noodles closed once mounted. Since the weight of the garland may turn the garland facing downwards, I'm adding more branches along the top until it's completely filled in. I'm now hanging up the threaded hooks inside the garland, then threading on the ornaments. I'm now adding some fairy lights to the garland so it will illuminate the greenery safely. To winterize the garland, I'm applying short bursts of spray snow to the greenery to give it a fresh fallen snow vibe. And you are left with a gorgeous neutral winter window scene that is perfectly themed to stay up all winter long. The nearly invisible thread gives the blue and white ornaments a really cool snowflake floating effect, further emphasizing a winter wonderland. The spray snow on the garland adds such a whimsical lightness, plus it will help hide the drying out greenery. The windowsill also received a wintry forest scene with bottle brush trees, branches, and faux snow to further the winter theme. I hope this inspires you to add a winter window of your own this holiday season.
Run to the dollar store and grab one of these hanging planters or hanging terrariums. Some of these little tiny miniatures that are for the winter village or other types that are like that, they usually have these out all winter long, along with also some fake snow. And now you're going to go and fill your terrarium with some sand. Fill it only so it's in the bottom portion of this, you don't want it to overflow. Shift the sand around and then tap it down slightly. And now let's go and place the people along with also some of the miniatures. These are going to be so much easier to go in place before you go and put anything else in here, especially because after these are all placed, I'm going to follow this up with some fake snow, which you don't have to go and do, but I think this arrangement is really cute and I do want a wintry look to it. So after everything's placed, what I'm going to do now is take some of these white stones that you can also go and purchase at the dollar store. Then I am going to take some of the fake snow and just go and kind of take a spoon and make it look like it's almost snowing over everything. Try to get a little bit everywhere, and I'm even going to use this little tiny hole in the side because this side was actually kind of hard to get everything into. Brush some of the extra snow off there, and now I'm going to go and mix up some Elmer's glue along with also a very small amount of watered down dish soap. Now this combination shouldn't be too runny after you mix it. It should be a consistency where it does run off with a spoon, but it still does have kind of consistency like this. You don't want to overwater it. Now take a straw and see if it's going to make bubbles. If it makes bubbles, awesome, you have the perfect consistency. To dye this, I'm going to use a little bit of mica powder, and I want this to kind of look almost like water with bubbles after I'm done. Then I'm going to go and mix this up, and after it's mixed, go and put some air back into the mixture to create little tiny bubbles which are at the side. Use a spoon to put a small amount over some of the white rocks, and then use my heat gun on a very low setting to go and dry this slightly so I can keep some of those bubbles in there. Now I'm going to move on to the next little area here and fill in some of the other space with some more of the bubbles that are on this spoon and the bubble mixture. And after that is pretty dry, I'm going to go and add a couple of these small little tiny white rocks to here, and then go back around the edges with a toothpick that has some of the bubbles on it as well. And these, you don't have to go and use a heat gun to do really too much to. Just make sure they are pretty well covered but not fully and totally covered, and you can just let them dry, or of course use a heat gun if you want to. And after it's dry, your diorama can look like this. Some of the glue is going to leave behind some bubbles, which you can see in the rocks here. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay nice and warm this winter. Have a great one. I will see you next time.